Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, Funtime Crafts 24/7. I was going to show you how to use the scan and cut to cut out the images in the Stamps of Life 6x6 paper pads. This is the Take It Easy collection, and a lot of times in the Stamps of Life paper pads they have these cut apart sheets, and I was going to show you how to cut these out. And you can do this. This is the same method that you would use for regular stamped images, or if you did want to just cut something out on a page. Like this paper pad has a page that has small dragonflies, you would use the same method to cut these out as well. So basically all I'm going to do is, this is a low-tack adhesive map for the sdx225. You basically pick any point of this page that's below or in these black lines here that have these marks on it with the numbers. You want to make sure to stay below or inside the black outline. And so and then if you're using it a lot, you want to make sure to shift it around on the mat to use the mat evenly. But this is a fairly new one, so I'm just going to stick it up in the left corner here. This, even though it's low tack and it's new, I don't like the idea of my page possibly shifting around when it's cutting, so I put washi tape on it. I don't know as if it's necessary, but I like to do that just to be sure, so I don't ruin my image. You only get 2 pages of these cute ones, so I like to be sure. Now, if you're using a brand new standard tack adhesive mat, you will want to take precaution. There's several videos on how to de-tack the mats, because they come with a lot of adhesive and can ruin your paper. So even if you don't watch any more videos, I would definitely suggest taking some cheap copy paper or some cheap cardstock and putting it on your mat first, to make sure that your pretty paper isn't going to get stuck on there and then you have to end up ripping it to get it off. So definitely, yeah, be mindful of the standard ones as well. So let's go over to the machine. Woo. Okay, so here we go. So this is the sdx225. All I did was push power and then home. Oh, I should show you that piece. Hold on. Let me let this shut down really quick. So if you're turning on your machine, when you turn it on for the first time and you haven't used it, it comes up with it's going to set the cartridge screen, and you just say okay and then allow it to adjust the roller bar down below. So pushed home, and then when you see the scan and cut logo, that means you can push home and cut right to the chase. So here it says the carriage will move to the initial position. Keep your hands away from the carriage, and you say okay. Oh, here, I'll show you. It's adjusting down here. And then back to the screen there. What you're going to want to do is load your mat. So this is the load mat button, but let me show you here. So all I do is I make sure to put it between the 2 guides and then use one hand and hold it up, not tight, but up to the rollers. And then what you're going to do is you're going to push this load button here, and it's going to load it into the machine. There we go. And then to cut these images out, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go scan and then direct cut, because we're directly cutting out an image. We're not going to save or manipulate it. And we're going to save it to the machine. You could save it to your computer if you wanted to, but I find it easier just to save it to the machine. It turns it into a cut file after it scans, and that's what it's asking you. Now this one scans in color or black and white, and this is saying that it's scanning a 12x12 mat, which is correct. I'm going to try scanning mine in color though, so I'm going to go over to this wrench and adjust, and I'm going to push color, and then I'm going to say okay, and then I'm going to say start scanning. So it's going to pull the image into the machine, run it through its scanner. It goes out the other side, and then it's going to pull it back in. Like so. And so then, once it's done with that, this is where we tell it what we want it to do. So now what we're going to do is we're going to frame the image that we want to cut. So I could initially just do one of these dragonflies, or I could do the entire page. I'm going to go ahead and do the entire page since that's just the easiest, and I'll use all the images anyways. So you just drag your little red, use your pen or your finger too, and then drag your corners to the area that you want to cut out. And what you're trying to do is block out all the unnecessary things that you don't want it to cut. So like say this was that other page of dragonfly images, the little tiny ones, you would just actually, because you probably only want a few of them, you would just kind of do a little square like this, and then cut out all the dragonflies in that area. I wouldn't imagine you would want to cut every single one out, but you could. And you would just do the same thing. But I'm going to cut out all the big ones. I'm going to say right about there. And then you're going to hit OK. And then it's recognizing the area that you chose to cut out. There we go. And so now here you can see that all the little dragonflies are lit up. And then in order to not have it cut these little letters out, which say use dragonfly to stamp and more dragonfly to stamp to die cut, which are the coordinating dies for these, you're going to have it ignore object size. And those are really tiny. So we're going to say my dragonflies are smaller than a ½ inch, or bigger than a ½ inch, whoops. And so I'm going to have it ignore everything that's a ½ inch or smaller. And now it's going to process that information. Let's see. Oh, there's still some there. And if you find that there's still some stuff it's going to cut out that you don't want it to, you can edit it. And then you can pick on the items you don't want it, and then you can delete it. And say, okay. See, it's highlighting more of those. And you're going to say delete and okay. And now we want to keep that, so we're not going to delete that. We're going to say okay. And then what I like to do is actually put a border around it. My machine actually needs to be calibrated. So if I left it, it wouldn't exactly cut on the line where it shows here. It actually cuts offset. So I always put a border around mine. And I do a 0.4. And then I say okay. And hit okay again. And there we go. And now you have all the little images of the dragonflies. And then I'll show you something really cool after this. So now this is asking, what do you want to do with the images? And you could do a number of things. You could do any of these things here, but we're going to cut. So I'm going to say cut. And then you can do a test cut, but I'll show you what it looks like. I'm not going to do one, but you can, to make sure it's going to cut out images. And so what it does is it pops a little triangle on the screen, and you want to put it somewhere on your page that you don't care about, not on any of the images, but on the part of the paper, to make sure that it's going to cut all the way through. And then you would just put that somewhere on there, and then you would push start, and it'll cut the little triangle out. And if it cuts out clean, then you know your machine is properly set up to go. But I'm not going to do that because I know my machine is. And we're going to get on with the show. So we're going to say okay. And let's see. Wait, cut. What? Oh yeah, we had to push start. So here. So you'll push start here. And then it'll cut it out. Pretty fun. And it's super fast. It just takes like a couple of minutes. It's real easy. And if you calibrate your machine, it'll actually cut right on the line. It's really nice. The fun thing I was going to show you after this is we can actually put a piece of vellum on here and make the shadow even bigger, and it'll cut out a vellum mat or any color of mat you could put behind those dragonflies just by doing the next size larger on the outline. Yeah, pretty fun. But I think I'm going to do vellum. Well, you wouldn't be able to see vellum, so we'll pick a color that will be really cute with all of these. Maybe glitter. Maybe we'll do glitter. Ta-da! See, and it cut them out. And so now we're going to say okay. And then we're going to save this because, oh, whoops. We're going to save this. I'm not going to do anything with this just yet. We're going to unload, though. So let's do unload. And it's saying that if we unload the mat, that it could shift from where we cut. So if we wanted to do it again, it might not do it on the same line. And we know that. So we're going to say okay. And so then it unloaded. And now let's go over and see what they look like. So let's see here. So I'm just going to pull my washi tape. Ta-da! Isn't that great? And now let's pop the images off. You want to be a little bit gentle, especially if it's a new mat. But how cool, right? Isn't that fun? And this is the same way you would do the stamped images and anything that you would want it to cut out like this. And I would highly advise getting a low-tack mat if all you have is a standard and it's brand new. The low-tack ones are way better. They are so worth the money. To me, they are. Okay, so now let's go ahead and grab a color. I don't want that. This one's, let's get a different color. Let's see what we think about like purple or this pink color. Oh, that pops. That pops. I think the purple though is the nicest. Let's do purple. And so basically I'm just going to put this back in the same spot where these were. That's the easiest. You can actually adjust it and move those dragonflies, but I'm just going to leave it where it was because that's just the easiest thing for me. And then I'm just going to throw a little bit of washi tape on this. And then as long as your washi tape doesn't go over the black line, even if there's a little bit on it, it's actually fine. So then we'll just load this up into the machine. So let's go back over there. So I'm just going to pop it in here, in between the two guides and under the rollers, just kind of taut, you know. You don't have to like really press it in or anything. And so we're going to say load. This one here is the load button. So it's loading it. And then here's the fun thing you can do if you want to do a matte layer on these images. We're going to say go back. And this little button here where we put the outline, that's the outline button on all those images, we're going to make it bigger. So it says 0.4. So now let's go to, let's see. This image here has a 0.4 on it. And so I think I'm actually going to double that. I'm going to go to 0.12. And so it's going to be really big. And so let's let's say okay. And then okay again, because we don't need to do anything. And then we're going to say cut. And then what we're going to do is we're going to push start. Oh, whoops. And this is just a fun little extra thing you can do. So if you're cutting out, like, you just want to, like, spell something out, you can use this same method to do the same thing. You could have it cut the message out, like, happy anniversary, and then you could put a shadow, or not a shadow, a border around it, like we just did, and it will cut out a matte layer. Oh, I should have scanned my page in. Whoops. Oh no, maybe not. We should be good. I should have scanned it first. Oh well. Hopefully it all gets on there. Ah, I did it. Okay, so let's unload it. So we're finished cutting. Okay. And then unload. I'm going to push this unload button. And yes, we know it's going to change. So let's go over to the table. And I'll show you what happens with this. Oh, see what I mean? Oh, see, we should have did a test cut. Perfect, Nugan. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's stuck. Yeah, the cheaper the cheaper paper sticks bad. Oh, that stinks. Because it's a new mat. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, that's a bummer. And it didn't even cut it. Shoot. Oh, see what I mean? That's what happens. So, your new mats, you definitely before... Good thing this was just cheap paper. Alright, well, let's go through it, eh? So, if this happens to you while you're practicing... this actually is a good thing. Don't get too frustrated, because amen, it was cheap. But this is what you want to be mindful of, because if you have cheaper, like you did stamped images on cheaper, this is why you do a test cut, so you know it cuts it out. I should have done that. I didn't. And then the cheaper stuff sticks to this, so I don't think this is so bad. It sucks for, you know, all the images we just cut out, but this makes this piece more usable now. To me, this is perfect. This is just fine. So we're going to give it a whirl again, but let's show you what I was talking about for the mat wise. So basically, it does that for you. Like that. So let's try that again. Let me get some more paper. Meh. Okay, so I'm going to use the same stuff. Just to try it again. We'll do a test cut. We'll scan it in. So here we go. I'm going to put on the corner. And because I'm still in the black line, I'm okay with the corner there. I'm going to do that on the whole thing. If you get big pieces like this that stick to the mat, just spray it with Windex. Wait like 2 minutes. And then use your scraper, scrape it off. Or sometimes it just wipes right off. And then it doesn't ruin your mat at all or anything. Because I've had to do a few of them that way. It's ruined my pretty paper. Okay, let's go back to the machine. Let's see. And here. And then we're going to load. Okay, and then right here is where you want to go back. I think it's here. No, okay. Okay. There's a spot where you can actually scan. We're going to cut. And then, where is it here? No. There's a spot where you can test. So let's go ahead and test. And I'm just going to put it like up in a corner where I know I'm not going to have a dragonfly, but it'll do a test cut. And so let's say start. Oh, I have half cut on. Oh, Farfignugan. Oh, I didn't even think of that. I have, oh shoot. No. Oh, pressure is 6. Oh, my half cut's on. Hold on, let me turn my half cut off. Farfignugan. That's why it didn't cut. Well, it did what I told it to do, so let's move my little triangle one more time. No, not there. How about we just go right there? And cut. And start. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Shoot. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. Let's see. It did too, but like this one I can already tell it didn't cut. This one did though. There we go. See, it cut. That's why the other one didn't though. Okay, so let's do this again. I'm just going to push start. I think my cardstock's going to stick again. Oh, the hazards of a new mat. So, do a lot of paper you don't like first. Like a few that you don't like till it gets some of the adhesive off. And then when it's well loved, just stick it down with washi tape. That's what I do. It's the easiest. There we go. That looks better. You can see it's cutting all the way through. You can see the white underneath. I don't know if you guys can, but from here I can. The angle at which I'm standing. Oh, my little dragonflies need a purple mat. Oh, little dragonflies. There we go. And this is still that same cheap colored cardstock. So you'll see how this does. There we go. So let's unload the mat. Okay. And then go over to the table. And here we go. And let's see what happens. Whoops. Yeah, sometimes the washi tape does rip your page, which is not cool, but you can control that a little more than in a giant mat of adhesive. There we go. There we go. Now let's see what... Oh, see, there we go. Oh yeah, it even did that. There we go. And even these bits, like if you don't like any of this, you can take that off with Windex, and the Windex doesn't hurt it. It actually helps it a little. So let's see what this looks like now. Let's see, what do we have here? This one here. But see, look how cute that is. Isn't that darling? So you can cut little matte layers too. So like this one. See, look how cute that is. So anyways, just another thing, couple of tips. How do you do it? There you go. And lots and lots of fun. The new mat's a little precarious, but once you get them loved, a little bit of goodness on there, they work beautifully, and you just washi tape everything down. Invest in a high-tack mat because, or a low-tack mat, because this is multiplied 10 times when you use a standard one. I'm just saying. This is my preference. This color here. So anyways, hope you guys have a fantastic day. Until next time, happy crafting.